Hey guys, and welcome back to Brexit Britain, a country who decided to climb Mount Everest in summer clothing. It gets so cold up there. And also, welcome back to By Any Means Necessary. Thank you for all your messages you sent me, and a special thanks here to everyone who signed up to my channel. I feel so blessed with so much people that signed up, so thank you so much for that. I'll go through all your messages, I'll answer as many as I can, but I will like all your messages for definite. So, as Insolate Britain, right, was back this morning, people, pushing up their cars, onto people that are actually sitting in the road or standing in the road, right? At one stage, the police had just had to go over to these drivers and say to them, you need to stop what you're doing, right? Immediately. But I think the police should have dragged them out of their cars and arrested them for doing that. Do you know what I mean? Because it's got to be known, yeah, that because if the police wasn't there, it could have got a lot worse. And you had one bloke standing up there shouting about, telling people, I hope their parents get cancer. If you're that guy with the grey ponytail, yeah, right, you should be ashamed of yourself. You don't go around telling people, saying that to people. Do you know what I mean? I hope your parents, I hope your family members get cancer. It's a disgusting thing to say to somebody. So so you should really check yourself, yeah, before you start all that nonsense. And these people, they have a right to demonstrate, because I tell you this, right, if they was demonstrating outside the House of Parliament, we would have never heard about Insulate Britain. The only reason why they've got a name, yeah, is because how they're demonstrating, and because in the way how they're doing it. Yeah, it might be the case that, they're getting in our way, we've got to go to work and they're getting in our way, but unfortunately we just have to live with that, right? The only people that care about that is us, really, because the government don't really care about anything these people have got to say, and the government don't care about us, right? In the same way that you see today, they just brought in the new Ulez charge, right? And I heard Sadiq Khan talking earlier, talking about, this is not going to affect the poorest Londoners, right? And he said, besides, the poorest Londoners, right, are the people who are most affected by the Ulez. And say, well, yeah, okay then, fair enough. But you know what, yeah, don't pretend like you care about the poorest Londoners, right? Because you're prepared to wrap them in buildings, right, that are wrapped with solid petrol. Grenfell Tower, right? So don't these people, they pretend, oh, we care about we care about the poorest people in the country. No, they don't. No, they don't. No, they don't. They'll put you in a building, right, with cladding on it, right, that is basically solid petrol, right? So they're just talking nonsense when they're saying that. And I don't know if you've seen this story, yeah? The Italian Interior Minister, right, has been charged, and I believe he's been taken to court, yeah, for not allowing a migrant boat to land. Right? And something, I wish that would happen to Priti Patel, right? And they fling her ass in prison, right, for all the nonsense that she's talking, right? But that's how they should be dealing with these people, right? They see, that's how Italy's dealing with. That's how Italy, right, are dealing with their interior minister, right? He's been charged, right, and he's got to go to court, right, for not allowing a migrant boat to land. Right. Richard Gere, had to send supplies. So I think Richard Gere is going to be called as a witness. So, that's how people should be that's how people should be dealing with this, right? Because people aren't coming out of their own countries, yeah. Because you know what, I just want to go and live somewhere else. They're coming out of their own countries for reasons. They're not just doing it just for the hell of it. That doesn't happen. Right? That doesn't happen. It's like someone just saying, you know what, I'm going to get in my car and just have a drive in London. The last time that happened, yeah, I was probably in my teens. Right, because when we first started driving, we used to just go for a drive, because right, but because you could do those things then. But now, you can't just go for a drive. Not in London. That's just ridiculous. Far too much traffic. You'll be sitting in traffic. But what you do is you go for a drive in traffic, and nobody goes for a drive in traffic. Right. So that so everybody who's on the roads in London needs to be on there. Right. So let's talk about a bit of Brexit. It's all these, it's the sewage, the raw sewage that's been put into our rivers, our lakes, and the sea around Britain, right? And what's happening, yeah, is the Tory ministers, right, are getting complaints about, obviously there's a lot of people who aren't too happy about raw sewage, right, being put into our waters. Right, so a lot of the Tories now, right, have taken the stance that, oh, well, with what happened to David Amos last week, right? You know, do you really think it's fair you having to go at us about these? Because people are getting in contact with them saying to them, listen, you're voting to put raw sewage in our waters. What the hell do you think you're doing? And they're using David Amos, right, to say, well, you know, you're trying to intimidate us, talking to us, you know, right? So these people think, you know what, we can you know, cut benefits for people, right? We can raise taxes, right? You know, you could do whatever they want, right? And if we say anything, oh, David Amos, that's where these people are at, right? Because they want to put raw sewage. Right, that's another Brexit bonus, by the way, because you know, unfortunately, you know, they can't get the chemicals, right? You know, because there's chemicals that they can't get at the moment, right? And obviously, that's a Brexit bonus, right? Because that's why that's happening, right? But you see, do you realise, right, that in the time, right, that they've privatised the water companies, right, the shareholders have received, I think it's just under £60 billion. Right now, what do you think? Right now, if the government still owns all the water in this country, which they should? I mean, you know, water shouldn't be sold off. Water companies shouldn't be sold off, but they've sold them all off anyway. Right. So if the government still owned all of them, that money, right, could have been pumped back. Well, see, nice choice of word there. Pumped back into the economy, right, and back into the waterworks, right. You know, we could have had Evian, right, or Volvic. I'm sure there's other waters out there as well, but we could have had them coming out of our taps. Right? I think it's around 56 or 57 billion. Let's just say 60 billion, right? That's what they've had, right? That's what these people have had, right? You know, you see, this is what these guys do. They sell off all of our shit that is worth so much money, right? And then what do they have to do? They have to come at us for taxes, right? When they should be investing, right? So just like how the French do or the Spanish do, right? Because they invest, right, so that their people can enjoy cheaper energy costs. Right. So you know, so that's why they own that. That's why they own their train systems over here. Right. That's why they own the water. That's why they own, you know, water and the gas companies and electric companies and all these type of things. Right. So that they can make sure that their people in their country get lower taxes. Right. But our government don't think like that. Well, you know, they don't need to, do they? Because they know, right, you Brexiters are stupid enough to still vote for them. I mean, if they can convince you, right, to vote against your own interest, to lose your own freedom of movement, right? They could just, you know, they could do whatever they want to you, whatever they want, right? And you people would be like, oh yeah, I think I'm gonna stick with them, right? Because you know what, right? Labour are all for immigrants. Yeah, Labour, all for immigrants. You fucking idiots, right? Look where that's got you. Look where that's got you now, right? You know, it's got you into a country that's just fucked up. Right, so as I was saying, right, our waters are being polluted by these people, and right there is your Brexit bonus. This is By Any Means Necessary. I'm DMC Ribs. It was really nice to speak to you guys. Comments below.